The station was closed.
Yeah.
Me, how many times did I meet Pablo in my life? You see? So if I was a youth of the NDC, question is, so the question is, who is he organizing? Okay? So those are the things. But if you find presence in some other platform, use it. So go to social media. Be in the media. Okay? Be in the media. Also, organize on the ground. There has to be different approaches to tackling it. You can't let any of the sides slip. Because the fact that you are the youth organizer means that you are more in tune with the current trends. You don't expect the old man who is sitting somewhere to be the one doing that work on Twitter and on all those. No. That is not his work. So you are more in tune with the current trends. So they should use that a bit more. I don't know, but yeah, I don't like that statement. It doesn't work for me. You have to be everywhere. You have to be capable of discharging your duty on every platform. I mean, that's what I think. I would please jump to the women organizer position before we come to the deputies.
Okay. It's a women organizer. And so nipa mienu. Margaret and say Mago and I don't know Bonimrani Mago and Dr. Hannah Louisa Bisiu. It's winning you know and also it's women organizer no mami mumienu watch it.
I think that we're at the end of the first time.
Do you have the record of
Yeah, I have it here.
Yeah, so take us first.
Yeah, I think that this is the first time Oyenya Nipa 2.
Only 2?
Yeah, I contested for that position. Last 4 years, 2018.
How many?
There were 4.
4 in number?
Yeah, there were 4. The incumbent, then Zainab Joyce Mahama.
Okay.
Well, now yes, incumbent.
Yes. Yeah. She was the incumbent at the time, I recall.
On your 252 votes. In your Hajia Bawa Zachary, on your 16 votes, my favorite number. And in your Margaret Chiravira.
Margaret,
Chiravira.
I remember her.
Unimono.
Yes.
And also in your 11. And Dr. Hannah Louisa Bisiu. Sabena Fin also air call for the first time when you have 446 votes.
Okay.
And you share vote difference on the incumbent then no thing. Let me get you the correct figure.
446.
446 minus 252. 194.
194. That was a good difference.
194. Difference.
Yeah.
No fear chain or oba. Last 4 years, na nipa 4.
Okay.
This time around, nipa 2. And then the money you. Because a CCC, it uncle a beko B. But the 2.
You said it was CCC.
Ube CCC nanako kata bome ha. Etunye na no.
But you know that's if you know I know somebody who use CCC to vote. No. To blow objective paper.
Oh, no,
I got everything right.
Oh, yeah, listen, so zero.
Never. I don't know, say no. Who score? Now we are
So 2.
Yeah, near TNA.
Wow.
These 2 women, no. Are fantastic. Obia on a strength. Obia on a weakness. Dr. Louisa Hannah Bisiu, Margaret Ansay. Fantastic women by all standard.
Yeah.
Now, my man started with Dr. Louisa Bisiu. Now me checking the profile. Say, she was a member of the NDC 2008 Manifesto Committee.
Okay.
She became a deputy minister for food and agriculture. Now, Osansu, a member of parliament for Tano South from 2013 to 2017. Osansu be a deputy minister of state, Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing. And currently Osansu here a national national women's organizer. National women's organizer.
Okay.
Till say Ochina be free maba. Ofa Magoa I MCE. Ewo Suhum municipality.
Yes.
And was so as everyone several committees. In the last year, me no it's all Jida, Ashanti Regional Coordinator. If I stand to be corrected, but time and I may profile woman. Near me, no. Was also a parliamentary candidate for Suhum constituency, Olusu to Opariansa. Sana numbo. Women's wing, you know. Winger meka se ehu hia yi pa edema party no because ofa nipa dodo e wo Ghana ye no population ye wie ye no e ma do so che mema mebo a ofa electoral register na omo compile in 2020 na e ma na san do so chen eye emema now Dr. Louisa Hannah Bisiu on the strength or some sort of weakness. Nipa bi any enya pepepe. But mimi hu ni say adwuma party no de man no. 4 years ago, nipa 446 eto abade man no. Adwuma no timi ye. And the question says, "He say,
okay,
Ajuman otimi Say Ajuman otimi ya. Ye better road na amana san ko nanimu ana. Say wantimi anya, then ye catch no. So far, all the commentaries I am monitor within other platforms. Minya obia or question the competency.
His capacity, her capacity to do the job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obi anywhere. Or can say adwuma ye demand no. Wantimi anye. All the platforms. Radio, TV.
But there's a sticky issue.
Yeah. Oh, you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, radio, TV, and what have you. The critics. Almost so almost don't know. Obi anywhere. Watimi amasinga facts about Juma part in the channel last 4 years. And you know, it tells you say, or you're competent enough to hold that fort no, going forward. Now, Adia Bakwankro for Kanfana home. I say she left the party and of course seeking for no parochial or personal interest.
Luckily enough for us, you have spoken to her on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
And she's been addressing that over and over again.
Exactly.
To the point that sometimes me, I even get tired for her.
Yeah. Who's
addressing the same issue. So
I'm American. I had the same issue.
Yes.
At then that time I near per Udi Eja or Coco Pre MP.
Yeah.
Me document you are. And sadly, no. Let me tell you. Let me mention the chairman of the party. Honorable Samuel Ofosu, friends, Chairman Samuel Ofosu. I believe, say, the party no, and enough. Say, womo ebe ombema the party man ati omwase as far as say Hannah Bisiu contested Tano South constituency in 2020 elections in concern.
Okay.
The party hierarchy led by the chairman Omafeli say ombema mo party man ati ase.
No, why do you say so? Explain.
The last time Otuku no ba me show so. Eba pampa so mekanesa. Ana me bisa ne say the national architecture na wo hono no. Say obi furi mu say okọ akwa contest parliamentary seat a. Eye nipa no ena ode ne pe ekọ ana say a decision of unfair neck ana.
Yeah.
A decision of neck.
No, okay.
Otukuno told me on this platform, say, a neck decision. Because ABS pay. Honorable Haruna Idrisu. He was once national youth organizer and or contested parliamentary seat to win here, Meboa.
Yeah.
They have Sir and Shasodiana. One betimi aka. So Otukuno told me, Obi and Obefi, a wakwa, say, Yasuman is one called. Now, document wa ha no omo ye ne 10 regions omo chiche mo no man fanka ho party ne contractee a doctor be from University of Ghana and now omo ka kire ne say onko the orphan constituencies na omo konko bisa obia omo face odi party nanim e oda constituency wono mo a ebe ye and that document we say no and that document we say no party didn't deny it. And I think Dr. Louisa Hanabisu, she has been what the opportunity be obenya platform biano or the side document weba but the party that fairly say document na kita ma me no eye document a party na jutuma na yen yintum hwe where half a region adena dey yes sir where half a region for the sake of time document no table 10.7 omo cho said that 3 most preferred candidates by constituencies in a half a region. Yawo Asunafo South, Asunafo North, Asutifi South, Asutifi North, Tano South, and Tano North. For the sake of time, Yanko Tano South. Ofa Tano South. Party ni serve on call Tano South kokoye you know. Sa consensus we nyina under a half a region.
Yeah.
The first preferred candidate Hannah Bisiu. Percentage of film buy no 91.3%.
Okay.
And you are the second preferred candidate. Your friend Kwadwo Agyei.
Okay.
Kwadwo Agyei percentage of film buy no 4.3%.
Okay.
And the third preferred candidate, your friend Ofosu Amoatin. Ofosu Amoatin too got 4.3%. Eti party in survey no me ye no. Na a show clear say candidate Tano, your friend saying Tano South. A prefer say onyina party na name. Dr. Louisa Hanabisu. I will pull in 91.3%.
Okay.
Now, time Ben will be to me declare intention, say me person me koko contested as member of parliament. As at August 2020, now NDC only candidate or Tano South. It's on record.
Okay.
As at August 2020, so you have August, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Now almost just 3 months to elections. Now party no any candidate or Tano South. It is a document we say no. And can be expectation about the programming we no. Now the national chairman being the leader of the party.
Would that?
Emra Bonte meka say e yampa say party no etu anamu bia omko da survey no. Then in September, me ma information we say in September 2020, anytime be a party no call elections no. Edu period be a one dissolve national executives no say obi anko ne region of film konko yaduma. In September 2020, the national executives no omo bisa obi a omo catch obi a say nti wo sana say a part of NECA and now fi voter regional. Now on koto obi I say ebia BBS e be for say BBS wo ha na ehia intervention and to go there and resolve that matter. Other than that, you will be in voter region to campaign for the party. As at September 2020, the national executive national executives now on committee now on omo dissolve here so be an corner region non konko yaduma and no na ba say omo musika bi say okay wo je ko and okati so omo man 4,000. Yeah. Pablo told me on this network say he got 2,000. Time wa my America say okota no south naka 2 months ni atoaba naka 2 months ni atoaba. So now when the MP dia willingly when offer the pim. Say me person the MP or the 2 months election campaign. Doesn't make sense. And sometimes say be as a penny panasamoa. Don't because adia ekosuya sabi ya bomo person beka wase me. Wa wo ba ana wa wo ko. Ye betimi de adi udache. Eti why na ope MP adi a osode ya o say 2 months na me pese me kokoye campaign. Why na betimi I use just 2 months
to win an election.
to win elections? It doesn't make sense. Enti enema ekoso against her no. I believe say a man no woman near me. I know. Sir, enema be ekoso behind the scenes. I know an empty ground say Greater Accra. Women's wing no Greater Accra no. Group will be ya turn to mama say woman palm santoma no. Na woman share fa share jeans mra Cape Coast and me na me Cape Coast to. Ye kwa hwe niema. Near the report about Monday. Nyazane ajumanzane be. Then on Mago a fantastic woman. Obi antimi and take ni capabilities and animal betimi aye for granted. But obi asese wono so say na hoɔden wɔn fa na strength wɔn fa wɔn minim sɛ obi a wɔ interest election say kɔ yi amafo bebree wɔ interest wɔ mu Benefsin yeah publication be say the fight between Johnson and Siedu Ketia and its chairman Samuel Fusampofo and ye know a year 2027 flag bearership or Kansas no amafo be taking it lightly Kofobi so far say oh one of the you will say sa seven of a panica no medesa krata na to one day we will come there. John Mahama dear we are then 2024 and is for the Beko.
Okay.
And I had John Mahama 4 years spent will be track per BBS per constitution or meboa.
Yeah.
It's after John Mahama wine says or leading party and no yen talk so the women's wing enipa 886 and ekotwaba.
Okay.
One nim say nipa 2 ni nyina capabilities. But makachiro me do you to makachiro say woman to me sweeping all the position and incumbent you know about side disaster. Some departments here to stay and continue to do the job.
Okay.
And my ancrophobia say na uja matre wodam ha beba no no mumu ache na ba ko hye na ba ko hye na ba ko hye ye me anxiety as see ye betimi abotwede baton beba na edi fufuo na yesere sa na me mate e ma ho yi ahoyi awom we nyese.
So it's between Hannah VCU
and Margaret and
say. But let me take a break. You're still here with us. So we'll be back.
Imagine strutting into the most anticipated wedding of the year. Only to see 7 other girls wearing your exact same outfit.
You are special and one of a kind, and that's why whether it's voice, data, or SMS, you get to enjoy personalized offers tailored to your specific needs with MTN Just For You. Dial *141# or select your options on the My MTN app to redeem your unique Just For You package on Ghana's best mobile network. MTN.
Say, Masuma Jome, many langard for any chakabia. Order for Sawo Passasia Mansu be anyone, Assasia won't cut a sub edimu. Look no further. Hearts Builders Real Estate ever sorted out. Yawan Sassinibi was Shine Hills, 13,000 cities, Chopoli 20,000, Ningo Pram plot size and a 70 by 100. By a deposit of 4,000 Ghana cities. Diakano, yes, spread them on, it's Yanaka Pusumi Siatem, who assassin the baby, who perceive Besidan Esisumawa. Hearts Builders Real Estate. Your right choice. Yet on plumbing materials bia. Ye delivery our and cry anytime. Yes, sans ye claim cleaning services biya bi boho yetu adwuma bi for construction hono men kotu sikangu fa wo hye Christmas promotion ya Hearts Builders Real Estate at the Mount so free CCA 0555 314 806 0241 665 200 yawa ashamai yani Mandela Park no ena edi enimhye Hearts Builders Real Estate, we are your future planners.
One station.
Accra 2022, 23, 24 and more. We don't chat, man. Bad driver. Back live.
Commercial free.
Just mid-morning show.
Oh, we love a chubby bad driver. Mid-morning show.
The mid-morning show.
Yes.
90.5.
Good morning, my neighbors. On chubby bad driver.
Experience quality
Radio station.
Put your hands up.
Rave.
powerful.
Morning vibes and more. Accra 90.5. We don't jam here by Drema.
Oh, we love you.
Your mid-morning show on Radio Go.
We are back like 100 times. 2 times bigger. 90.5.
All the things I know that you deserve.
Mid-morning show. Wait, no time and by Dremba.
Mira, say dear, my one dinner basro.
Yeah, met me who so what dinner ba. Hey, Agbeve MW capsules. And I'm what dinner say. Can ye baby beer? What my bread, my tin caniade.
Say Agbeve MW capsules no. Abo mini pedia pomuden. And ama me jina me nine so. We dear, a money meme nyina no. Enti ahode no obie bi.
I like that. Agbeve typhon so the drinking honam say. Won't me di. And now what yare. Num Agbeve typhon bi. Le beme di kama da sa boni paduano akwo tianyarewa
Venus Gota asame yem kro eye stomach also use there bibia de din dada
Venus Gota ayano kre one man na siesie ye hyem edi ye hunkomo se ya ne ani agye
esa ye beko pharmacy herbal and chemical shops dodo aye frɛ Agbeve herbal products 020-8130-790 and 0246-595256 appeal for abata woma nufo ene nkoda woni mfie dumienu nka ho FDA agi edwede nkrato yatum.
So, welcome back to the Gold Morning Conversation. Before we move on, let me remind you of Agbeve MW capsules. You know, a couple of matches will go on tomorrow. That one there, it will be woman to woman, man to man. It is only in the youth organizer position that involves one woman. Very tough lady. But I'm not talking about that match. But even those matches, you lose based on, one, your capacity, your energy level to keep fighting till the end. And 3, there are other things that you have to consider. Those things will also come in. But it's important that when you get into bed, performance in bed also requires the same thing. The two of you must have the same energy level for the team to work. So if you are a man, you have problems with vitality, vigor, and strength. If you're a woman, you have problems with vitality and, of course, low libido. You need Agbeve MW capsules. It's good for performance in bed. And then there's Venus Gota. It's for the treatment of stomach ulcer, which includes peptic ulcer, gastritis, and duodenal ulcer. It also treats urinary tract infection, vaginal discharges, penile discharges, and burning sensation in the private parts. So 2 medicines, Agbeve MW capsules and Venus Gota, both from Agbeve Herbal Centers. Both products are available at any herbal shop, drugstore, pharmacy, and chemical shop within your locality. For bulk purchase, contact Agbeve Herbal Center on 0246 59 5256 or locate Agbeve Herbal Center at Soweto last stop. Taking us to 23 minutes past 9. We are we are getting closer to the end of our show. But let me just remind you, in case we don't get here, that the deputy youth organizer position will be contested by Osman Abdullahi Ayariga, who is number 1 on the ballot. Ruth Della Sedo, who is an incumbent. So she will attempt to convince the youth delegates to vote for her for a second time, because she's currently one of the deputies to George Opari Addo. So she's seeking to be retained in that position. There's Bright Nundokbo Honu, who contested in the last elections, who is number 3 on the ballot. There's Suleiman Abdul Karim, who is number 4 on the ballot. There's Muhammad Abubakar Sadiq Gombila, who is number 5. Kabiru Ahmed, who is number 6. Eric Dassing, who is number 7. Pendilok Owusu Asari, who is number 8. Obedo Pitan is number 9. And of course, Jude Sekle, someone I know very, very well. I know Jude quite well. Jude is number 10 on the ballot. For the deputy women organizer position, there's the incumbent, one of the incumbents who is also seeking to be retained, Abigail Akwabia Elom Mensah, who is number 1 on the ballot. Felicia Jifa, this is the first time I'm hearing that Jifa's name is Felicia. Felicia Jifa Tega is number 2 on the ballot. So Jifa is Felicia. So when you go there and you are looking for Jifa Tega, please, the name will start with Felicia. In fact, I never imagined that she would be called Felicia. I could have imagined a couple of English names, but Felicia, dear. Anyway.
Hello, Felicia.
Jesse Adams. I like the name. Jesse Adams is number 3 on the ballot. And of course, Haja Alijata Suleimana is number 4 on the ballot. So those are the ones who are contesting for the deputy women organizer positions. Those are the deputies. 2 things. For deputy women organizer, one of the incumbent is not seeking to be retained. Mami Efua is not seeking to be retained. The deputy youth organizer, Edem Agbana, is also not seeking to be retained. Albert, good morning.
Good morning, Zena.
How are you?
By the grace of God, we are alive.
Albert works for the Center for Socio-Economic Studies. So does that include politics too?
No, I'm not part of you for your game.
I just wanted to. I was thinking, if somebody asks you about who a women organizer should be, what type of candidate a women organizer should be, or political party?
Well, somebody who should be able to rally, mobilize, and then effectively deploy the women.
I think you have to speak into, maybe push the mic a bit away so that you can speak there. Yeah.
So somebody who will be able to mobilize, first of all, mobilize the women, then, lead them, deploy them to effectively also, push the agenda of the party. Most importantly, the interests of women and then children, within the political structure of the party.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are looking at both women and then children.
Yeah, of course. The women take care of the needs of the children. So
that is part of it for you.
Yes, of course. Sir.
What about youth organizer?
Youth organizer. So basically, mobilizing the youth to the cause of the party around the ideology, and then to achieve, the core needs and aspirations of the youth of the party. So first of all, you have to be able to mobilize them, get the power, and then, before you satisfy the need of the youth. If you don't have the power, you won't be able to do what you have to do for the youth. So first of all, you have to be able to mobilize them, rally them, and then push them to buy into the ideology of the party. Don't forget, the youth, as we speak, are in the majority, as in terms of the voter population.
Okay.
So if you really, really want to win a political, election, you should be able to mobilize enough of your youth, and then for them to also influence and then mobilize and pull others who may not necessarily even be political through, those also who belong to your opponent to their side to rally behind your cause. So if you're able to get somebody who can, lead that charge, I think you'll be good to go as a political party.
I'm wondering what attributes the person should have. What attributes do you think the person should have?
The youth are always exuberant.
Yeah.
So somebody who has that level of exuberance, first of all,
okay,
organizational skills to, to be able to tap into the exuberance of the youth to follow the cause,
okay,
so Chobe, and then they follow him, and then wherever he had to lead them, they follow. So once you're able to get such a person, it should be good.
Okay.
And then of course, it also comes to resource mobilization, because I'm not sure the political party has finite resources. So as much as you're a youth leader, you should also have the connection to be able to raise funds outside what the main party structure can also provide. So if you have somebody who can also do that, should be able, because if you look at the structure, for instance, that of the NDC, the structure of the NDC, you realize that the youths are the last to benefit monetarily from the party structure. So the youth organizer mostly carry the burden of looking for, and seeking funds, raising funds to, take care of that gap that exists between the needs of the youth that the party couldn't, effectively take care of. You get it, yeah. So.
Well, we'll be looking forward to the NDC will elect for the youth organizer position. Hopefully, I may also find myself, depending on what happens. A couple of things can happen. Albert is here. Albert is from the Center for Social Economic Studies.
Are you sure you are going there because of the youth this thing on that one? Especially the deputy position.
I just found out that my friend is called Felicia. Felicia. Oh, Jaffa. I never knew your name was Felicia. Actually, Margaret Ansay is a very, very good friend of mine.
Okay.
Very nice lady. Easy to deal with, fantastic person. I wish her all the best. But I've also met Dr. Hannah Luisa Bisiu. I admire one thing about her. She values loyalty. Even if she has to go through fire, if she knows that you are loyal to her, if she has to go through fire to do something for you, she'll do it for you. So I value that about her. Those are two very wonderful women who are going up against each other.
Oh, okay. For me, Roots and then Jude are friends. Roots is a sweetheart.
Okay. Yes.
And she's from what I know of her and from my working relationship and then personal relationship with her, she's very effective. And I hope they are able to retain her. And then I hope Jude also goes through.
Yes. Jude is very dedicated and committed.
Very.
And one of those who don't, you see, there are people who, when they see you, they pretend like they see you. You have to look for them. But Jude is not one of those. We'll shout out your name and then call you. So Jude is fantastic. Jude is fantastic. Jude Sekle. Number 10. You too. As if you are playing football. How can you go and pick number 10? Pick something earlier.
Messi things.
Pick something earlier. How can you be playing Messi in politics? Please, people, this Felicia matter. Felicia,
let's leave it.
Well,
I beg you.
Alvin, first of all, let me start from Parliament with you, because I'm sure you are monitoring,
of course,
what happened in Parliament.
Very shameful.
I haven't even asked you. You said what?
No, what happened yesterday was very shameful. Shame on the majority. Are very unprincipled, hypocritical. They are not fit to be in the parliament.
Not fit to be in the parliament?
They are not. They've clearly demonstrated that they don't have the interest of the suffering masses of Ghana at heart.
But they also
it's as simple as that.
But they also say...
Let me... No.
Okay.
What justification do they have Are they not the same people who
that no adverse finding has been made against the finance?
So on what basis were they asking or were they calling for the removal of the finance minister? That he was overperforming so much so that everything was okay, then he should be removed. I mean, why? Which world were they in when they were calling for his removal? Or their call is different, is in variance with what the minority was calling for? So what changed? Within the same period that they made a call, things worsened. People now realized that they were going to lose their life savings, their investments in thousands and millions of cedis. Mm-hmm. So why then do you say you are no longer interested in he being removed?
So they had more reason to even...
You now have more reason than ever to remove the guy. So why on earth will you walk away?
But they say,
from the very call that you made.
But they say, well, we want him removed, but not.
Their leader made he used the word that is what misadventure. So yes. When they were doing, what were they doing? Was sailing on the high seas or what? That theirs was actual adventure or what, exploration or something. That the lives of Ghanaians, the suffering Ghanaian, people's livelihood, people's investment for years, out of the blue, they are not going to get anything on it. Then two, they are going to lose the value of their principle as we speak. And then you call that that the person who caused that his removal, a call for his removal is a misadventure. In which of the worlds are we talking about? So now, look, this people don't really realize the situation in which we are at the moment and the rippling effects or the knock-on effect that this country is going to suffer. Government, the impairments of the financial sector to government exposure is well over 60%.
60%?
Yes, at least in minimum 60%.
So
now government is saying that.
Explain that.
It means that government basically owes the financial sector about 60% of their assets, especially those that they can quickly liquidate into fiscal cash to meet their needs and the needs of their depositors. Government is holding that, and government is telling them that for a whole year they are not going to get any interest on it, and if they attempt to take anything from the distance, the principal that they have, they're going to lose no less than 30% to 40% out of it. And then people will not be concerned that we are heading to a crashing of our financial system.
For the sake of emphasis, you're saying that 60% of the funds of the
central government owes the banks and the rest of the financial sector about 35.6% of their core assets is impaired, is owed in debt by central government. Then the rest of the public sector, which again, whatever they owe, government has to pay anyway, is about 23.5%. So if you add the two together, we're talking about 60%. Now, if you look at even the other small these things, when you add to it, one industry player was saying, when you actually do the calculation, we are heading towards almost about 83%. And then for a whole year, how does the banks and or the financial sector make their profit?
For a whole year, not a single interest payment.
So where do you expect them to? And that we're talking about almost about 31.5 billion cedis. And then your solution is that you're going to set up a fund of what, 15 million or is it 12 million, a billion? How does that take care of about 31 billion that you plan holding for a whole year that the sector will not have access to? So people don't, at the moment, still don't understand the enormity of the problem that has been created and that we'll be facing.
So the financial institutions, including banks, are under serious threat.
Of course. I know you've spoken to the industry players. What do they tell you? I'm sure most of the managing directors of all the banks will be, or the financial, institutions will be having sleepless nights by now. So, and then you turn around and then call that the person who caused that, and then plunge us into this situation that a call for his removal is a misadventure. When you are making it, so of course, if you claim that nobody is to blame for what is happening now, then you might. Then why do we need you to solve anything? Then the system will correct itself. Then we don't need anybody. We don't need to pay anybody extra money to correct what is happening now, isn't it? That's logical. If you are not responsible for something and you don't have any control over it, why should you still be there? Let the system correct itself. Is that not the logical inference from you making that statement that you are not to blame? It means that you don't have any control over whatever is happening. You don't have any control over the economy. So if you don't have any control over the economy, then you must as well leave it to the whims and caprices of the market. And then when the market corrects itself, then everything comes back to normal.
So to you, now more than ever is the best time to take out the finance minister?
As long as like more than since July, he shouldn't be there. And if there's any principle, and if these people operate with any principle at all, he himself should have even resigned. After all the comments is passed, we are proud people, we are not going to whatever, IMF, blah, 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 blah. And then you turn around and go and you are still sitting down there. If you say you don't eat catfish, then tomorrow somebody do some shortcut catfish soup, and then before we know it, you are the one even chopping the head of that catfish. And then people are questioning you, and then you are rather telling the people that what they are doing is misadventure. I mean, with Bible quotations left, right, center. How? So for the majority, they are a shameless bunch. They should be ashamed of themselves. Their children should be ashamed of them. Their family should be ashamed of them for what they did yesterday. They clearly demonstrated that they don't have the interest of the country at heart.
How would this sound to you if they come back and say, we still want the finance minister to go?
And then they should remove him alone. Then we continue.
But Albert, why is it important that this finance minister goes?
No, but you see, a financial sector or an economy is run with two things or two major things. The actual competence, and then the sentiments, and then the belief, the confidence that one, the individuals, and then the investor community have in the people, managing the economy. So once that sentiment or that confidence level dwindles, unless you change the people,
that really does not matter.
It doesn't matter. Unless you change the people in there, there's nothing you will do. It will continue dwindling. Where were we when this whole thing, let's say by the middle of the year when they declared this thing, what was the rating of Ghana? Within that period up to now, have you not been, downgraded to default, selective default? Selective default means that you didn't choose to go into default. You've been forced by the distress situation. You don't have any option but to do that because of the debt restructuring. If they have announced debt restructuring long ago, let's say by mid-year, they wouldn't have downgraded Ghana to selective default. It means that one, you chose it. You are not in that situation yet, but you anticipate that may be the result. So you decided proactively to do that. Then people know that, yes, of course, you know what you are about. But if you wait until everything comes to a head-on, then you now say people should take a haircut. Or haircut basically means the realized investor losses.
Okay.
It's basically the investor losing something or money. Are you getting it? When you get to that point and then you are now saying they should take a haircut, it means that you didn't know what you were doing and you didn't have any solution. The situation forced you to be doing what you are doing now.
Okay. So you're saying two things: the competence of the person and, of course, sentiments. So how the investor who actually puts money into whatever he decides to do feels about the person sitting there. And you're saying that at this point in time, that sentiment, Ken Ofori-Atta has lost that sentiment.
Long
So
ago.
his competence does not matter.
Let's use a most recent example. In the UK,
Okay.
when Kwesi Kwarteng and his former boss introduced the policy that they introduced, and then the market reacted negatively to it. Once he was kicked out or he resigned, what happened? Everything, stabilized. And now they are, making gains out of what the situation used to be. That's how the market reacts to some of these things. That's the market sentiment for you.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Okay.
But you have a government that will blame everybody else but themselves, forgetting that their incompetence is what the market is reacting to.
So you're even saying that even the competence he does not have.
But if you have the competence, we will be in this situation. If you have the competence, you should know that whatever you were doing will end up, despite every advice, those who understand the situation we've given you for so many years, that whatever you're doing, this will be the end result. What did I tell you at the beginning of last year? You remember, in this same studio here. Didn't I tell you by the close of last year, nobody was going to buy into our bonds on the international market? Because looking at the figures, that was exactly the end point. That's where you are heading. And you didn't do anything to change it. So there was no surprise whatsoever that we got there. Then after we got there, what happened? You continue doing basically the same thing. And then the market keeps reacting.
Okay.
They kept downgrading you until you are here, the final point. So where is your confidence?
So there's an issue of competence when it comes to the finance minister. He's lost the sentiment. So basically what we have there...
No, but about your own party people, your own MPs don't believe in you anymore. And you want an investor who has money to believe in you. If your own family members don't believe in you, that you are not competent enough, why should I believe in you?
But having said that, then what do you then make of his approach to this whole debt restructuring? Because Occupy Ghana describe it as an offer, but he's sounding like as if you don't take it, his deputy says, if you don't take this offer, you're on your own.
You see, so again, this attitude of not listening, not engaging anybody before they introduce policies, we saw that in a number of policies. Free SHS, even less the most recent one, e-levy, right?
Okay.
Then when everything, crashes, then they come back blaming everybody else, forgetting that knowledgeable people, industry players, experts told you that if you take this option, that's where will be the end result. The same thing happened with the banking sector or the financial sector cleanup.
Okay.
Everybody who understands what was going on or who understood what was going on told you that if you take this option, this will be the end result. Did they listen to anyone? No. E-levy, did they listen to anyone? No. This same thing again. You claim that you are adopting the Jamaican approach. Mm-hmm. This is not how
Jamaica and Greece.
No. They say they chose to the Greek approach. Basically, they use legislation to force everybody to do it. But the Jamaicans, they didn't do that.
Okay.
What they did, so when you choose, let's say, a test case scenario or best practice, you take the best practices out of the best practice or the example that exists.
Okay.
But you don't take the worst of it and then say that is how you will begin it. What they are doing now, the approach they adopted, was the last approach that Jamaican used. And there's a reason why it happened like that.
Okay.
Jamaica had two debt restructurings within a space of about 3 to 4 years. In 2010, they had what they called the Jamaican Debt Exchange. And with that, it wasn't their finance ministry or JOB, BOJ, that's the Bank of Jamaica, who led the whole thing. What they did was that they invited the industry players, the bondholders, the major ones, and then sold the idea to them. And then, convinced them that this is the best option. The other options available is to go straight into default. And when you go, everybody loses. Government loses, the investor also loses, because you won't recover everything or even much of your distance. The minimum, when they did the stress test, the best they could have gotten was in a default situation was about 20%.
20%
recovery, yeah.
Okay.
So industry bought into it that, okay, if that's the situation, then the industry was made to lead after every negotiation. It was very extensive. The document I signed when you go through it was very extensive. So it was industry rather, or the bondholders themselves, the major ones, who now invited the rest of the investors and then explained the whole thing to them. And they had 100% buy-in. But what happened? This thing that we are doing today, that we are doing debt restructuring, I assume everybody agree and then even sign up to it. Government refused to change its ways, that what they were doing before we landed in this situation, they will not change from it.
Okay, so the Jamaican government just...
Exactly. So after that, then they started behaving like this particular government. Reckless spending on unnecessary, ventures, and then the fiscal consolidation that they started derailed. So debt shot up to almost about 150% of GDP.
After the first one?
Yes. So IMF canceled the program that they had with them. Then they had to come back to the table. So when they came back to the table, then they had what they call the National Debt Exchange. That was when now they had a difficulty having the buy-in of everybody. Because, of course, we trusted you. You said we should sacrifice. It's our country. So sacrifice so that at the end of the day, within this number of years, everybody now benefits. But then when we were sacrificing, you were, chewing chichinga.
Oh.
Well, we were drinking, raw gari without sugar. Are you getting it?
Okay.
So now, most of the investors, not even most, even the big players refuse to even sign up at the initial stages. Then they have to now do another negotiation for months before the big players now also accept. Now, the rest of the freeloaders, or what we call the small investors, refuse to sign up on. So then the IMF was also saying, before we give you another program, unless you have 100% buy-in. Other than that, they had almost 99.67% buy-in.
That's significant.
Yes, but IMF said no. Unless you have
to get everybody on board.
That was when they chose this CAC, that's the collective action, this thing, that these people are now doing that. If for them, they force the big players, now force the small players to now go, come on, if you don't choose this, then you lose significant amount of your investment. So this was the last approach because of their own action, that they refused to sacrifice when the bondholders and the investors were sacrificing. And then was still spending recklessly like that. You see. So this was the last option that they chose when everything, the program was delaying and then things were going out of hand. So this wasn't the first approach they adopted. It was a consultative negotiation and dialogue that they used. So it was industry that led everything, the entire thing. After they had the buy-in, then the finance ministry put the offer. So at that point, everybody believed, okay, let's go with it. It was because of this attitude of not listening, cut your ministry, no, your ministers, no, remove some or merge some of them, no, those
policies,
no, cathedral, no. Then they went back to the city. So even assuming they have today, if this government had 100% buy-in from the investors,
we'll go back to the same situation.
We'll go back to the same situation because, look, before Ghana can correct this thing and then go to sustainable debt levels, we need to run budget surplus of not less than 8 to 10% in the next 5 to 10 years.
A budget surplus of not less than 8 to 10%.
Yes. For us to be able to now come to a more sustainable debt levels.
And that will, that will require some significant
sacrifice. Now, but here is the situation. Government even doesn't want to do any cut at all. While they are telling the ordinary Ghanaians that poor man's son or daughter who graduated or who has graduated and is looking for a job for how many years now, that they won't be able to employ them, they are going to employ about 570 people at the presidency, Office of Government Machinery. What they are telling you, they won't employ anybody from 2023. But they are planning to employ that number of people at the presidency. You see how stupid they've taken Ghanaians.
Well, in the meantime, if you're looking for a naturally formulated herbal product to boost your immune system and improve your prostate health, the MaxMed Prostate Care Capsules is what you need. Don't be like this government. Get yourself MaxMed Prostate Care Capsules, which is designed to improve your well-being. MaxMed Prostate Care Capsules is effective for prostate support. If you have problems with urine retention, you urinate too frequently as a man, or you have weak erection as a man, you need MaxMed Prostate Care Capsules. That is what you need. You can, for bulk purchase of MaxMed Prostate Care Capsules, visit Nana Boachi Herbal or Kaishi and Tama Community 1 Market, or call Maxtop Health Services for more information 055 809 3123. So those are the numbers you can call Maxtop Health Services on. And then let me also remind you that, like Albert is saying, it doesn't look like we are getting out of this anytime soon. So please, to avoid going to the market constantly, if you have a bigger family and you need to store your food, you have to buy in bulk. If you are a chop bar, you need to buy in bulk, have a lot more stored and reserved. If you're a restaurant, you need to do same. So if you're looking for a place to order your fresh and wholesome food supply in bulk, look no further. Village Man Food Center is into the production, storage, and supply of any food stuff you can think of. They are here to take care of your food supply needs. Contact them today and place your order. They supply plantain, yam, cassava, fresh tomatoes, red or local gin, kokonte, beans, gari, sugar, granules, charcoal, bottled water, local rice, onions, soya beans, salt, and any other food stuff you request for in bulk. Remember, they supply in bulk. You can locate them at Achimota, Accra, near Best Point, or call 0242 812 434 or 020 01 71 008. Get in touch with them today. And well, I still have in the studio with me Albert Otogbe. Albert, you have to conclude.
You see, so like I was saying, on this should I say stubbornness or refusal to maintain fiscal discipline, again, those are some of the things that investors will be looking at. That as you are trying to cheat out of our money, you are still wishing to maintain the extravagant lifestyle that brought you to this situation.
Okay.
So why should they willingly, sign up to whatever you are offering them?
Because I hear some fund managers are already rejecting the offer.
Almost everybody, not just fund managers, basically everybody, all the fund managers and all the investment institutions are all rejecting it. And what I'm learning is that the banks, for instance, are also putting out their counter offer. If they will accept it, good. As we speak, we don't really know what percentage buy-in IMF is requiring from them.
Okay.
But I'm assuming since they went for the Jamaican situation, I suspect it's the same 100%.
100% buy-in.
Yes. And for the Jamaican situation, don't forget, it's mostly domestic debts that they were dealing with.
We have...
You've not even resolved your domestic one yet, and you have external to deal with. And then external, they don't owe any allegiance to you as a country.
So they don't have to agree.
So you
to
should be
whatever you're
prepared that you will be facing a lot of lawsuits. And I'm hearing that they are putting some clauses in here and there that if you even sue us and you win judgment, that you can't touch this thing, you can't touch this our assets, or gonna share this our asset here and there. That's the situation they put ourselves in. Yes, they want to still be cathedral. You'll be turned into a laughing stock. Everybody is asking, are you going to pray in the cathedral for your debt to, magically drop down or something? Because nobody understands why you are in this situation and you are insisting on building a cathedral.
So the best approach for you will be what? Sit down with them?
You should, nobody should have even told you that. You should dialogue with the people, negotiate, consult with the industry. For industry, since you say you are using the Jamaican situation, then you should have let industry let this whole, negotiation process, consult the rest of the people, have the buy-in before you even announce the thing.
Okay.
But you don't do it, the opposite. Now you are using like a stick and carrot situation that take or leave it. You are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. That if you don't take it, you lose your money. But what about if I take it? If I take it, do I trust you enough that at the end of the day, my money will still be there? Won't I lose everything? Why not I cash out now and save the little that is there for me? Instead of you trusting the person who, instead of refining your ways, has refused to refine your ways. Why should I trust you? Answer. Give me one good reason why I should trust this government and leave my money in the investment. Why shouldn't I cut my losses?
And take whatever small you have.
Of course. You've not shown any remorse. First of all, you keep saying you are not to blame for anything. 2, reduce the size of your government, reduce the extravagant lifestyle. You said no. So what exactly are you sacrificing as a government? And what indication are you giving to show that you are willing, first of all, to maintain fiscal discipline? 2, you'll be willing to maintain fiscal discipline for the rest of the duration, that I have to lock out my money for the next 15 years.
Well, Albert, thank you. I have to make way for our chairman.
We probably have to continue.
Yes, I think we have to find some time. I have this conversation again. But coming up on the mid-morning show, the focus is on the Fugees. It's 80s and 90s jam with Ochami Bajimba on the mid-morning show. So the king of mid-morning is taking over. Have a lovely weekend. We are back same time Monday with another edition of the Gold Morning Conversation.
Miracle Herbal and Counseling Center that room me and your friend Mobonino and then Miss Menya ba
Eyampo Miracle Herbal and Counseling Center there. Essese wudi adansi ampani sintini se o hawa na eda misu nyinada o matene